Hello and welcome to the Toadstead. Well, let's see if we can do this without getting into the sun. But as you can see, let's see how to do this. Oh, anyway. The lights on this trailer, they varied from a couple that worked, but that were just all cracked to get out, to some that were missing their lenses, and, well, some that were missing completely. And these, it's an older trailer, and this has incandescent bulbs. So we had two choices. We could either replace the incandescents one by one, but we couldn't find the lenses that match. And in the front here, only one complete light, and most of them don't work. They're just shot. So what we went ahead and did is bought brand new ones for the front and back, and right now we're just popping, I think we had 3 lenses back here. We're popping those off. Gonna find the little star tool, Torx tool, to take these all off and get it cleaned up and see if we can't get some new ones and get this thing to light up like a Christmas tree. Okay, so there's the first 5 mounted on, and we'll look at the lights themselves in a minute. But the other thing I really did was just, I think, improve the looks, certainly with functionality. And up in here, made a couple of changes. Hopefully you can see that. We went ahead and individually grounded each one. And of course we'll tie in, you come underneath here, each one of these already has the power necessary. But it's the middle of the day, it's hot, and I'm not going to do that right now. We're actually going to look at this one over here, which is completely missing, and treat it a little different. Over here, this is a big solid piece of steel. This is not. This is just the aluminum skin. So what we did over here is we used stainless steel machine heads. I'll show you why later. And went ahead and is the individual ground and used nylock nuts to hold those on. God forbid you have to replace it. It'd be a whole lot easier than what they did before, which was just sheet metal screws. And here we'll do the same thing, but we need to relocate this hole up a little bit because the light's slightly different. Again, we go inside, I'll show you that. There's the grommet that goes. We're going to save that. And we're going to kind of check everything out on this side, because out of all the lights that were still here, the only one that worked was that one over there. But for nothing else but the sake of continuity, so it all looks good, we're going to go ahead and replace all of them. What we're doing here is, of course, replacing all, I think there's 14 of them. The 8 reds in the back and the embers in the front. So we'll come back when we see how we're going to do this. Okay, now to be fair, this is just a battery charger. There it is right there. It's not, I don't have a battery handy right now. But there's your little incandescent light. And you say, well, you know, it's not on a battery charger. You know, it's on a battery charger, so it's not real bright. Okay, well, let's just hook it up to this one over here. Okay, now you remember that weak glow over here. The same source, exact same source. So, as you can see, there's certainly a whole lot more to these. So it should look better and be lit up like a little Christmas tree when we're done. Okay, so we've got all the lights on here we're going to put on. And just as a note, I don't want to pick on Continental too much, but each one of these lights that were put on at the factory, some engineer took the time to make these cute little bumps. I don't know if you can really see them, but it gives a flat spot for the lights to mount in this curved plastic nacelle. And every single one of these lights from the factory was mounted a 1/2 inch low and a 1/2 inch to the right as you're looking at it. And they were just, I thought for sure when I first saw the trailer, I've known this trailer for several years. I was with the owner when he bought it, and I saw this damage right up here. It's been repaired okay. And I saw the lights were kind of wonky, and I thought, oh, well, you know, some lazy previous owner just didn't want to take the time to center the lights. And no, when I took it apart, it was the stock. They were the stock holes. So that kind of falls under the, hey, you had one job. But anyway, we filled the holes in and squared everything up as best we could, so at least they're straight. So we got these 5 on the top, all new LEDs. And then because this trailer came with side rear lights, trailer laws being what trailer laws are, we had 7. And now we've got all matching lights. But this segment of the video is really, I wanted to show you there's 2 different ways to do this. And this trailer had both ways. So let's go inside. And we'll let the camera adjust. Now all these lights back here, if you can see that, there is a common ground down here, but for some reason they decided to ground back to the body of the trailer on this is a big piece of steel all the way across. Really nice. I guess they need that to support the fact that this has a big ramp. Sorry about that. There's a wasp trying to come visit. Anyway, it's got a big old roll-up ramp, and I guess you need that extra support for that. But either way, that's a great grounding spot. So back here, as you can see, we've tagged into the power wire. Now, the wires are connected, and this piece of shrink tubing is on here, but it hasn't been shrunk yet because we won't do that till after we test and make sure everything's okay. But each one of these lights grounds back to the trailer itself. We use stainless steel bolts to mount these. Maybe a little overkill, but you know, for a couple cents extra, that's something that's not going to rust up and become impossible or difficult to take off. And hopefully if we ever have to replace these lights again, it'll make it a little easier. But each one of these 7 is grounded back to the body of the trailer on its own. Each light has its own little ground. And now that we've blinded everybody by the sun, we'll go around to the side. And these front lights are done a little differently. We left the wiring hanging here because once we got everything wired up, again, each one of these connections is done, but I have not shrunk the heat shrink tubing to make sure. And what they did here is they tagged on to this common wire, and this one here feeds power to each and every light ending there. And then they have a separate wire, which you can see is grounded to the frame of the box frame of the trailer. And then it goes to each ground side. So all of these ground to that common point. Just yet another way to wire up. And I figured I'd just share that because it's there's lots of different ways to do this, really depending on how you want to do it, the wiring, the configuration of the trailer, and sometimes just how much wire you have, how much you need to save. Manufacturers will do this different ways to save on cost and to facilitate easy construction. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wait till the sun goes down, because right now it's a bright sunny day and it's hard to see all the lights, and we've got other things to do. But we'll bring you back when it comes time to test all this, and then we'll heat shrink, assuming everything goes right. Hey, I'm human too. Once we get done and get it all tested, it's all working, we'll heat shrink all of these tubings. And even though they're inside, I like the protection of the heat shrink tubing, and it's very, very cheap. Definitely cheap insurance. So when we're done, then we'll tuck all the wires out of the way, and this trailer will be ready to go back to its owner. Okay, well, I decided if the lights weren't bright enough to see during the day, then I wasn't going to like them anyway. So we're just going to do this. I've got the truck running, and I am going to take a second to show this off. This is kind of neat. This is the computerized crapola that's on the truck, and one of them is that button that says trailer lights. And what you do when you hit this is it's going to actually cycle all the light systems through. See what the trailer's on. So let's go out back and watch this. I'll give you a second to read that. And it's cycling through those in order as you see them. So let's take a look out back. All right. Well, those are running just fine. The little one down here, which we did nothing, is working. Stock one down here on the bottom is fine. That one's fine. Go around here, check the others. That one's fine. This one's a little dim, but probably because it needs a bath, but it's lit up. And of course, that one's going. So while we're doing this, the truck is cycling the light system. So let's see if we can watch it. There goes your brake lights. Here's your driver's side directional. Passenger side directional. Now that's all we're going to see, because it's also cycling through the reverse lights and testing the continuity of the brakes all at the same time. So the bottom line is this trailer is all lit up in legal beagle. Now I think what I'm going to do, just for fun, because these are nice people, I'm going to see if I can't get those overhead lights working. But that's really not for this video. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming around, checking us out, and we'll see you next time.